So, André, you're a fetishist, and you've been, I think, like in the fetish scene for a little over 20 years.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit, before we go into your role as a Pride Ambassador, can you tell us a little bit about your history? What is your background when it comes to fetish and kink?
Oh, my background goes very far. My first feeling with leather and stuff like that was in the shop of my parents. They had a shop with leather clothing and accessoires, and
yes.
So that was my first experience with leather.
Your parents were also into fashion. They did like bags, accessories, suitcases, everything.
Everything in leather, yeah.
And you were like a 5-year-old boy, and you were like, yeah, I like this.
Yeah, that smells good.
Yeah. I love it. And then for a while, you were like roaming around.
But my fetish was not from that point.
Yeah.
That came later. First, I was a guy experienced the gay world,
yes.
and experience goes on, and then you meet somebody that introduces you in the fetish and kink world.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was around 2003, just before you moved to Amsterdam.
Yes,
right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who was this person?
Yes, that's right. Yes, he was. Yeah, and he brought all kinds of stuff with him.
Oh.
Yep.
What, for example?
A rope and
yes.
And masks and
yes.
Yeah.
How fun!
Yeah.
And then, so you had your first taste, and then a year later, you suddenly decided, let's move to Amsterdam.
No. First, he took me to a fetish party.
Yeah.
It was the big parties of Triple X Leather in Westzaan. So that was my first big fetish party.
Yes.
And of course, I was nervous going there, like I am now a little bit. And it was almost felt like, oh, this is where I belong. This is how it must be, how it feels. Of course, it was right away a big event where everything happens. So it was a bit overwhelming.
You see where everything happens. Can you explain?
So all the fetishes are walking around, but all the BDSM, sex play, everything happens there. So yeah, that was...
Suddenly, what was in your head was real.
For example,
yes.
Yeah.
The smells were stronger than you might have thought.
Yeah. Some were scary.
Yes, some were scary. And then at one point you moved to Amsterdam after this meeting. And how did you discover fetish life in the city?
Well, next that you are on the web, on the internet, you know that there are the bars are there. Like in that time, you still had Argos, you had the Cock Ring, you had the Eagle, Dirty Dicks. They are still there, and a few more.
And all those places, for the people who are not familiar with it, are fetish bars, cruising
bars, leather bars.
Yes.
Yeah. And they were mostly surrounded in the Warmoestraat and in that area.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you told me that you met a guy there once, right? That was a little bit like the trigger in Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's right. That was because maybe like the most of them, if you go to a bar like that for the first time, of course you have all those images, but you go like, we'll see what happens. And there I discovered another part of myself.
Yes.
And that was by a guy who approached me and just said friendly hi, and then grabbed my neck and put some pressure to it, and that felt good.
Yes.
So.
And did you by that time already knew that you were also a little bit submissive? That was like something that triggers you?
Well, I liked the stories that you read, but to experience it yourself is something quite different.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think he also said to you, boy, is this your first time here?
Yeah.
Hot. It's like a little bit like talking down to you. He's got his hand on your neck, putting some pressure on there. You smell these things, you see these men, you're super excited.
You were there.
So yes, and then you were a little bit sold, right? Then you thought,
Yeah.
I like this, I like
Yeah,
this.
that's right.
And then you started also organizing your own parties.
Yeah, well, yes, we were samen met my now husband, then boyfriend. We came.
Beautiful man there. Like,
Is there? Yeah, that one.
hiding, yeah.
And we came in contact with the guys who organized XXX Letter. And it was in that period. It was already getting smaller. It was not in Westzaan anymore, but it was here in Club Church. And we started there as volunteers, and then we took over the organization.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you did that for quite some time, right?
We did it, if I'm correct, for 8 years. Yeah.
And what was your highlight in that time?
There were a few. The one is that we had our own Mr. XXX Letter election. You know,
Yes,
you were the first presenter.
My first hosting in Amsterdam, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember, like, we were in church. I think it was at 7:00 in the evening, and then I was rehearsing what I had to say, and then there were two people who just, I don't know, they were just there. And it was completely light, and they were like fucking in a corner, and. Like, I'm used to a lot after being in the city and in the scene for a while, but at that time it was just so weird. We just having a conversation and with two guys fucking in the distance, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah, that's right.
So anyway, what was your highlight?
The highlight was that when you have the organization MSR here in Amsterdam. That's the oldest letter organization we have. And they are involved in organizing the Mr. Letter Europe elections. And that year it's supposed to be in Germany, but there was problems, so they have to find another place to organize it. And they choose Amsterdam. So in 2 weeks we had to organize something, and they asked XXX Letter to participate. And that was really an amazing time to set up such a big event in such short time. Yeah.
What I appreciate about you as a person is that you I've seen you at a lot of events, doing prides and stuff like that, and everyone seems to know you and everybody seems to vibe with you. Do you know why that is? Why are people drawn to you?
I pay them? No. Well, maybe that's because I'm seen in the scene, and I'm an open person. You can talk with me. I'm not scary.
Tell me, you also started working at the Mr. B store.
That's right.
And that's good. That's quite a change, I would say, because first you're like in the scene a little bit, and then you're like full on in there. And how was that for you to suddenly be working in the store? What changed for you?
Well, what changed for me is that fetish is not a hobby anymore, but it's my daily life.
Yes.
So that's a big change. Yeah, it gets in everything you do in life. You're busy with these things.
Yes.
That's the biggest change. Yeah.
Well, was it strange for you as a boy who grew up in a leather store to suddenly be back in the leather store as a full-grown?
No, it's different. Absolutely.
Yeah. Some of the accessories are the same.
Some are the same, yes. And but yeah, it's different. But it was very nice. Yeah, absolutely.
Has it also changed your interest? Maybe your fetishes or your...
Yes, of course, because of course, yes, it did. But I knew a few things, but not everything.
Yes.
So in the beginning, I was surprised about things.
Can you give an example of something that surprised you?
That there are a lot of medical equipments that are used. So that was in the beginning. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah, that was I think the biggest surprise. Yeah.
Did you also try out some new stuff yourself?
Yes. Yeah. Not everything, but yeah.
Can you name one thing that you tried out that you really loved, and maybe one thing that you really hated, that you thought, oof, oof?
I'm not going to say that I hate stuff that we sell.
Yes.
Everything is perfect.
What was the best thing that you experienced?
The best thing that I experienced, that I have now, I think 2 closets full of leather.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just the gear, not like toys, for example.
No. That's the one thing I experienced. I'm not a toy guy.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
So.
Does it also go for like whips and things like that?
Yeah, whips, masks, stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So you're the Pride Ambassador. They asked you. Why did you say yes?
Because it's a big honor that they asked me. And I think that it's important during Pride that Fetish is there, seen and spoken of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's been quite some discussions over the years of Pride should invite kinky people.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
What is your answer to people who say that you shouldn't be there?
If they tell me, then the first thing I say, know your history. Because we fetishisten, lettermen, fetishisten, we were there from the beginning. The Stonewall riot started with transgenders, drag queens, and the lettermen, and so they are part of it. And not only that, but the fetish community is a community that does a lot for other communities outside the letter community. And so they are really a part of the community.
Yes. What do you want to achieve as a Pride Ambassador?
What I want to achieve is that what's now happening worldwide is that sex and fetish should be in the back room.
Yes.
Not shown.
Like I think one of the things that was in this project 2025 was that
that's right.
Stop the porn industry. So porn should be forbidden. For example.
Yeah. And it's not only the fetish scene that is a lot of comment about. There is about guys in glitter and stuff like that on the boats and stuff like that. I think for what I want to achieve is that it's normal, it's part of us, and those people that are willing and brave enough to show themselves as we do, they make the community. They use them as your advertisement to get things done.
So what you're advocating for is visibility, show yourself, talk about who you are, talk about your identity, and you do this at multiple panels as well, right?
Yeah.
You're going all over the city to talk about this.
Yes.
Yesterday you had a panel
about this topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on the 1st of August you're going to have one on a completely different topic.
Yeah, that's about loneliness in the community. Yeah.
Why? Because there have been loads of onderzoeken
research
into loneliness among the queer community, and it is something that is really a lot of people are battling loneliness. Why did you feel that you wanted to say something about that?
Well, I got the opportunity by Pride to organize things, and last year at the Roze Filmdagen, I saw the documentary Uit het Leven. Yeah, that's about they are following 3 persons. And it's about loneliness and suicide. And it triggered something with me. I don't know if everybody has experienced it, but when you are, when you know that you are different, stuff like that, you can get a lonely period. Well, I had them as well, and so this documentary triggered something. And reading and hearing about these topics about loneliness, I thought we have to do something with it, because it's not getting less, it's getting more. So that's why I...
Amazing. And I think also this panel that is coming up, you just don't want to, it's not just about awareness, you also want to find maybe some solutions, right?
Yeah, we want to do a discussion about it and see how things, well, I don't think we can change it in one evening, but maybe there are things we can do about it. Yeah.
I still want to know something about like this topic of people not wanting to have kink at prides. Do you think that people in general have become more prude?
I don't think if they become more prude, but I think there are in my opinion, more scared of showing and talking about it.
Okay, so they're more scared of talking about sex.
Yeah, maybe that's it, or kinky sex or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Because nowadays the opinion of somebody else is very important.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. What I see is that you don't, with friends, there is a lot of comment already. People are not interested. It's already right away, or...
Yeah.
So if that happens when you're in a group, you shut down.
Yeah,
it's over.
I understand completely.
Yeah.
We're almost done. In closing,
Okay.
is there anything that you would like to add, or is there anything maybe that you still want to share with the audience?
The only thing I can say is, live your own life. Don't fucking care what somebody else says.
Yes.
If this is what you like, if this makes your life richer and better and you feel better, just do it.
I think that's a great message. Is there anybody who has a question for André, perhaps? Yes, go for it.
What is your job as a Pride Ambassador? Because I've interviewed Pride Ambassadors before, and I still don't think I've got to the bottom of it. So if you could tell me, what, on top of just being fierce and you, what are you doing to, what is your role requiring of you?
My role as ambassador, they choose every year 6 different ambassadors, and they all have a different topic or come from a different community within the community. And what we do is we are, first of all, representing Pride Amsterdam. And what they want to do with that is show the world that Pride is for all the communities. So that's why there are 6 different ones. And in that ambassadorship, you do your own thing, like I do. I did panel talks and interviews and the exhibition. The other ones, they do interviews with stuff like that, or one is for a lot of in the corporate business. So she's doing their panel talks. And that way, we try to be visible in all parts of the community.
Now that you're inside the organization, I think that you have a better view of what's happening in there. But I can ask you, what you think that should be changed? Because I think yes, we are always talking about pride and always about be more inclusive, but there are always some things that need to change. So what do you think that it's a good opportunity to do better now that you are inside?
What I think now I'm inside is that we have to be careful that the things we are doing now and talking about and stuff doesn't stop only after Pride. And that is the one thing I want to do. This has to be spoken of more and more. For example, the loneliness doesn't stop with only a panel talk. Or me being a Fetish ambassador with my speeches and that doesn't end at Pride. So I think what the things the topics that are on Pride and that are talked about and shown are there to make more awareness, and then hopefully it will grow out.
What are your plans for Pride? Where can we see you?
Where you can well, tomorrow evening you can see me here again with the panel talk about loneliness. You can see me on Friday 5 o'clock at the Dam stage and 9 o'clock at the Crash stage. Saturday 9 o'clock at the Crash stage. And in the shop, of course, because I'm still working this week, and I'm everywhere. And if you don't, no, he's home alone.
The whole time. Wow. Talking about loneliness, right?
Yeah.
André, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you
for everything you do, and thank you for coming today.
Thank you.